Hello, this is Duncan and this is tutorial 11. We're going to do this slightly differently because I think it's quite can be a long-winded tutorial, but it's quite basic in what it does. So just going to go, you should have found a factory layout along with this tutorial and video. So I'm going to open that up. And what we've got here is quite a complex factory model done in FlexSim that shows quite a lot of the features we've been learning throughout our tutorials and some that you're going to do later on. And it's got examples of all the things that we're going to learn. But the scenario today is what would happen if we needed to present this work at a board meeting and we want to show sort of a fly through our complex model. You can see if we just running it, it's quite, and you start moving the mouse around and stuff like that. It can be a bit, clunky to get things just right so you can see what's happening. What actually is happening is we've got three supplies here. They're coming in. The red boxes are flooding the conveyor, so the blue and green can't get there. A couple get there as the red boxes are filling up, the couple of blue and a couple of green, and then it's stopped until that full. All the red gets to the queue, and then the blue, etc., and green start filling up. And what's happening here, the conveyors are actually waiting for a blue and a green. That'd be kind of nice to have a fly through that comes through here, goes towards the conveyor, combiners, gives the opportunity at the presentation to talk about the combiners. And then we've got three rows of production lines, and they all have a different thing going on. Production A, then B, then C, then the multiprocessor, then we have a queue and a separator where the pallets go back to the beginning. So we've got this pallet conveyor, and the rest go off to the sink. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit so you can start seeing what's happening. And you've got parts changing color, shapes and stuff. And I've put in breakdowns, got people maintenance. Speed it up quite a bit so you can see running around. It's quite a complex model, and it might be you might feel a little bit awkward sort of driving the FlexSim model. In a boardroom, so it'd be kind of nice if you had a pre-recorded fly through that runs. So let's stop this reset. I'm going to change this to 15 speed. Reset. In a tutorial, you're asked to go to the tools, drop down, visuals, fly path. It does have a recorder as well that you can define the fly path and then record it and save it as a movie clip, an AVI file or an MP4 file. But it's quite clunky is this, and it's very dependent on your screen resolution settings. Telling you how to use this is kind of interesting. You can see we've got a flight path already there. We've selected by clicking on here the perspective view, and we've set times. But what happens is because the screen settings for my laptop will be different to what's in the labs and stuff, you have to mess around with the screen settings, so it's not worth mentioning. But I'm going to click on here, go to visuals, and I'm going to go to the flight path. I don't know why it's called flight path, and then it actually calls itself the presentation builder. And for you, it will create flight path 2, and I'm just going to grab the end of there. You can see that allows us to increase our times and stuff. Okay. So in the tutorial, I ask you to look at flight path 1. I've got flight path 1 here. You can see that the model starts at 8 a.m. Sorry. Press reset. These little black squares are keyframes. So when I press play, it's going to move to key predefined spots. I've moved this camera around to a spot and said this happens at, for example, that one is at sorry, 50 seconds. But the tutorial should press reset, run, and it's running at 15. And when it gets to 1 minute, you press play here for the fly. I'm just a little bit behind there. And you can see it comes down and it's going along. It's going to these key spots. You can see that the red boxes have really flooded this this conveyor system, but the blue boxes are catching up. It's quite jerky because I'm using a screen capture software at the same time as running FlexSim. You can see me 3 operators. It's 6 minutes past 8. They're doing nothing. The maintenance guy's not done anything. All my pallets, I've got 50 pallets there. They're running. They've all come. They're ready to be used. The first batch of parts have gone through the combiners. The transporter's going to pick the first one up, and so forth. We then waiting here. Then we go to the next, and they're starting to move across the first production line, processors A, then they go to B, then C, and so forth. You can see that we've got a slight pan. And basically what the tutorial asks you to do, I'm just going to stop the play, and I'm going to stop the flight path as well. To go to your own sorry, I thought I'd press stop. Your own flight path, right click, create your view you want, and when you're happy, you press the green button here, and you've got this location. And what I've done is I've given you the first location, the X, Y, Z, and the RX or Y or Z, and then I've incremented to each position. I'll just zoom up a little bit, tell you. So this is at 3 seconds. You need to go to this location, and then you go to the next location, and you basically going through the model at key spots at a predefined time, and you create your own fly through. Feel free to sort of have a go at what I've given you, and then feel free to add to it and play around with it, see what works, and then thoroughly investigate the model, because there's a lot of things here that you have covered before. So for example, let's have a look at processor A. What's happening with A? Click it. Come on. So it's got a center port for picking objects. Got no breakdowns. Flow is quite a basic. Go to the next one because it's going from left to right, going from A to B. Triggers. What's happening? Okay, so we get with it looks like the processor A's are changing the shape and stuff. Yeah, there it is. Doing lots of changing the shapes. And then the production line B. Again, it's processor breakdowns. No break. Oh, yes, we've got a breakdown. So this is gonna use a breakdown, which you'll cover. C. So, actually, C has the operators required to with the setup and stuff. Any triggers? So, what also this does, when an object enters that processor, it enters, and as soon as straight away its door is shut. Then after a certain amount of time, it's on exit. So when the object then exits and goes to the next production, it sends a message to itself, and the message is open the door, but it also says wait for three seconds, I think it is. So there you go. Send a message from yourself to yourself after 3 seconds, and the parameter 1 is true. So you get what happens when 1 is true, or when 1 is true, open the door. So that's quite a nice example. And then we've got the multiprocessor, and what the multiprocessor does is after every 20 items going through, spend 20 units, I think this is in minutes, 20 minutes doing something. So, and what this basically is like, after 20 objects going through that, imagine it's like a gluing station or a labeling station, and it's run out of labels. It's only can only do 20 at a time, and then you call the operator up who refills it. So just okay there. The combiners, the first two combiners are standard combiners, just taking a predefined selection of red, blue, green palettes. The last combiner looks like it's a normal combiner because it's got this setup, so that's how the other ones would do. So it's taking 2 from one of the boxes and 3 from another and 5 from another. But what this has actually got is an update combiner, and what it does is it goes to the combiner station drop down, which is predefined here. It's a lookup table, and we've said if the palette is a number 1, that's the combination of boxes you want on there, you know, the red, green, blue. If the palette is a number 4, then it's a different combination. So you get a little bit more flexibility. And when we create the palettes, there's 6 different types of 6 different types of palettes. So this is quite a nice model to have a bit of fun with. You can run the model, have a click on the fly through around about 1 minute, and it should play reasonably well. And it's quite a nice way of, you can stand back and talk to whoever is in the presentation about the model, and it's running reasonably well. You can see that the reds have all come off now. A couple of greens and blues got through, but as soon as the reds start filling the conveyor, so there's an issue there. And there's an issue with these guys, they don't do anything for quite some time. But anyway, that's presentation builder. I hope that was helpful. Thanks a lot for listening.